Friday night is hockey night at Honda Center in Anaheim, and the Buffalo Sabres are paying a visit. Second time in less than a week these two teams have gotten together. It'll be the final time this season we go to the Anaheim bench with tonight's Keys to the Game, brought to you by your helpful SoCal Honda dealers. Here's Lisa Hillary.
All right, thanks very much. I'm here with Coach Bob Woods. And Bob, your team ranked second in the league when it comes to scoring first period goals. What do you attribute that success to?
Well, we talk about it all the time. You know, you want to jump on teams early. Tonight, you know, we're going to be trying to be really aggressive early and try to put them back on their heels. And usually if you can get things going the right direction, it's tougher for them the rest of the night.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
John?
Thank you, Lisa. The referees for tonight's game is assigned by the National Hockey League, Rob Martell and Brad Watson. The linesmen are Brad Lazarowich and Brian Murphy.
And you see that the Sabres have been just dismal in the opening periods of games this season, outscored by a 22-2 margin. Anaheim, by the way, has scored the second most first period goals of any team in the league. They'd love to jump on the Sabres here early.
Marcus Foligno wins the draw at center, and a strange bounce on the stanchion directly behind the Anaheim goal, manned by Frederick Anderson, allows the Sabres to get it back, and Myers through traffic has it kicked to the corner. Boy, that was hard work, but Anderson found that puck. Perry leads the rush the other way, drops it off to Getzlaf, the return feed behind the net, wrap around, and getting to the far post was Ryan Miller.
Great stop by Ryan Miller. Those long arms of Corey Perry on the wraparound. Well defended by the Sabres netminder.
Both teams with a good chance in the first 30 seconds of the hockey game, and now the puck just came across the blue line, and Molson brings it back in offside. That's a break for the Ducks.
One of the things that has been noticeable about the Sabres their last couple of games, they've been physical, and look at the contact here with Frederick Anderson. It's Corey Trop that gets behind him and spins him around. Boy, that could have been goalie interference called on Trop. And the wraparound bid here by Corey Perry, sealed off by the right leg of Ryan Miller.
Miller in his 11th season wearing Sabres blue and gold. Former Hobey Baker winner at Michigan State University, and there's a ton of speculation whether he'll wear that blue and gold much longer, Brian, and certainly not much past the trading deadline. Seems to be the conventional wisdom.
Yeah, well, he's an asset that will command a lot in return for a team that thinks they've got a shot if their goaltender is first rate. And I still consider Ryan Miller one of the top netminders in the game today. Only 2 in 10. But that's because he's not getting any kind of offensive support, coupled with the fact that his defense is just so young and inexperienced. But look at the bottom. 30-plus wins in 7 straight seasons for Miller.
Last 2 outings for Miller, he has faced 97 shots on goal, including a 47-save performance in San Jose on Tuesday night. That was a shootout win for these Sabres. All 3 of Buffalo's wins have come on the road this year, as they are 0-8-1 back at home, but 3-6 away from Buffalo.
You know, Bruce Boudreau has just showed so much confidence in his young players, and Rickard Rakell of the Ducks is playing tonight head-to-head, matched against Cody Hodgson, who arguably is the top centerman, most gifted centerman certainly that the Sabres now have in their lineup. That's a tall order for the first-year player, Rickard Rakell.
Here's Solani busting back into the Buffalo zone off the icing call. Centers for Perreault. I believe Miller got a piece of that. Teemu gets it back. Behind the net again, it's Perreault. Smith Pelly makes himself available and just missed.
Boy, and that's 2 close calls where the Ducks had sticks wide open immediately in front of Ryan Miller.
Again, it's Perreault behind the net, and this has been his office this year. And no one will contest him. They'll just leave him there. Pysyk watches. He'll angle it off the boards. Brian Allen's shot tipped on the way. Oh, and the rebound was at the far post. But Pysyk got the stick of Solani. And a penalty coming up to the Sabres. Zadorov, the big, young defenseman, will get the gate as he just cross-checked Perreault in the corner.
Yeah, and that's fatigue. He was just gassed. The Ducks had the Sabres defense running around, and they were dangerous on the attack. Teemu Solani, good speed to the outside, throws it into the middle, and you could see that Zadorov just got a stick on that bid. And then Devontae Smith-Pelly on the doorstep. Nice little feed from Matthew Perreault. Anaheim said they want to shoot a lot and get a lot of pucks early for Ryan Miller, and they have done that. And there's the hit from behind.
2 for 4 on the power play on Wednesday night. The Ducks get the first man advantage tonight, and from the point, they put a shot on goal right off of 1 faceoff. Fowler winds and fires another rebound off of Miller between the circles. Getzlaf scores! And the power play has come to life.
what did Boudreau say? Move the puck and shoot the puck. That's what they did last game against the Coyotes. And they sure adopted a shoot-first mentality on this sequence. Cam Fowler blasts away. Corey Perry can't get a touch on it, but there's the rebound. Look at Getzlaf just swoop in from the point. Nobody picks up the captain, and he just drills it in behind Ryan Miller, 5-hole.
It took 14 seconds. Remember, on Wednesday night, Cam Fowler's power play goal came just 4 seconds, I should say, into a power play opportunity. So the Ducks do exactly what they've done all year. They get the lead. And now it's Palmieri busting in on the forecheck, trying to take it away from young Johan Larsson. And he follows up to the near side. Ristolainen can't play it through him, and Palmieri on a one-man forechecking mission right now in the Buffalo zone. Finally, the Sabres bring it back, and here's Larsson, former Minnesota Wild property, skips it to Anderson, who handles it and covers up.
Great start for the Ducks. They have been aggressive on the forecheck. They've been sending their defensemen down the boards to keep pucks alive. And Ryan Getzlaf, boy, is he hot right now. That's his 10th point now in the last 8 games. Getzlaf's a +7 over that span, so really starting to feel it. When he moves his feet and attacks, I don't know that there's a more dominant center in the game today.
Getzlaf, 18 points and +11 now in his last 15 games, including the first 3 minutes of this one here tonight. Teemu Selanne playing in his 1400th NHL game, becomes just the 3rd European to do so tonight. He's out for his 2nd shift of the game, and the Sabres are called for icing. Only Nicholas Lidstrom and Jaromir Jagr have come from Europe to play as many games at the National Hockey League level.
Look at the numbers, and they are pretty incredible. It all started in Winnipeg, and in the trade that really put the Ducks franchise on the map when they acquired Teemu Selanne. They became instantly a legitimate NHL franchise, and been the face of the franchise here for so long, John.
That face took a beating in Philadelphia just 10 days ago, but this is now his 2nd game back from a scary-looking injury when he was hit by the high stick from Luke Schenn. Selanne stops at the hash mark on the forecheck as Zadorov feeds it out of the Buffalo zone. Just 18 years of age. The defenseman Nikita Zadorov, who took a penalty moments ago out of Moscow, the 1st-round pick last June, taken 16th overall. Penner with speed across the line to Selanne. Boy, I don't know if Miller saw it as it went just wide.
Yeah, he didn't miss by much. Thinking top of the net. Miller, such a smart goaltender, though, John. His positioning was perfect. There was not much at all for Selanne to shoot at.
The MVP of the Winter Olympic Hockey Tournament in 2010. Miller came so close to leading Team USA to a gold medal were it not for an overtime loss to Sidney Crosby and the Canadians, a silver medalist. And what was just a whale of a tournament for him and a whale of a hockey game. Penner now handles in his own zone and reverses it around as the Ducks will break out. 4.5 in at Honda Center, 1-0, and deemed offside is Corey Perry, who doesn't agree with it as he took the nifty little feed up the boards from Getzlaf. Well, when these teams got together last time, the Ducks scored 6. If they score 5 or more tonight, Hooters will give you 5 free wings. All you do is print the coupon from the comfort of your own home and head to Hooters, your destination for free wings in Southern California.
Here's that blast by Teemu Selanne as he misses by about 6 inches, thinking top of the net.
19-year-old Ristolainen gets one on net and a right pad save by Anderson. A little bit of chaos in the slot as Cogliano backhands it to the line and Raquel gets it out. Shots are 5-4, pretty wide open in the early going here at Honda Center. A 1-0 lead for Anaheim. And Fowler strides back to get it. Fowler picked up the primary assist on the power play goal, and he has really picked up his offensive late. Now 5 points in his last 5 games.
Good play by Sammy Vatanen. Vatanen back in the lineup tonight. And he did a nice job fending off Cody Hodgson there with the body.
He took a hit in Buffalo on Saturday night. Went to the hospital after the game, but has not been back in the lineup since. He got his first goal of the season in that game, incidentally. Sammy was the first Duck defenseman to find the back of the net this season at the time. Tyler Myers, the former all-rookie team selection and Calder Trophy winner from 4 seasons ago, rims it around into the Anaheim zone, and Brian Allen sends it right back out.
He's got his old defensive partner playing with him, Henrik Talinder, who was his D partner the year that he did win the Calder. We're talking about Sammy Vatanen, and here's what happened to him in the last game against the Sabres. Cody McCormick crushed him against the boards.
That was late in the second period. Vatanen did not come back out for the third period. Finds himself playing with Cam Fowler tonight. That's a new defense pairing for Bruce Boudreau. We'll keep an eye on that as it goes along, as Spiza stays in the lineup playing with Brian Allen, as he has the last 2 games. Zadorov trying to pass it to the high slot, but it was a little bit behind Grigorenko. Grigorenko was the first-round pick of the Sabres in 2012, about a year and a half ago. Got 25 games with the big club a year ago, but didn't seem to find the offensive rhythm at all, and now finds himself in and out of the lineup. This is the first time he's been in 4 games, a healthy scratch the previous 3.
You know, when you load up with this many kids and they don't have success right away, I think of the Edmonton Oilers and how it's gone for them. A lot of high first-round picks.
Corey Tropp with a long drive that's swallowed up by Frederick Anderson. And we'll step aside early on at Honda Center. An early Duck power play goal, the difference.
Bruce Boudreau's got to be happy about the power play that finally seems to becoming more what he expected at the start of the regular season. Shooting the puck, good things happened. It was a deflected shot for Ryan Getzlaf last game against the Coyotes. It was a rolling puck hammered into the top corner by Cam Fowler, and then tonight it's a rebound goal. So, you know, all 3 goals are much scored in different fashion, and that also is a very encouraging thing.
I'll tell you what is also encouraging, Ryan Getzlaf with 8 goals, 18 games into the season. And here he breaks up a pass. Perry gets to it, still loose at the top of the crease and batted away as Getzlaf had a second bid. He gets it back in the corner for Perry. Off his stick right to the captain. Behind the net, Penner lets it come through. Perry knocked down, gives it back to him. He'll try that wraparound again, and Miller again gets to the far post.
Boy, Ryan Miller is just left alone at times as the Sabres are a little bobble happy, shall we say. Here's the youngster, Ristolainen. I mean, he just turned 19 years of age, just a kid out there. And he almost makes a huge mistake, and that's a big stop by Ryan Miller. And you know what, Ryan? Getzlaf's bid goes off of the post.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's 2-0 Ducks. And when Ryan Miller, see that little swing move with the goal stick around the side of the net? When goalies start doing that, it's because they don't trust their defensemen are going to protect the front of the net.
The old samurai swap.
Yeah, it's a high-risk play. You miss, and you're dead. But that's what playing on a bad team does to even the best of goalies. You start trying to do things that aren't really part of your repertoire.
Winnick angles it ahead, and Raquel couldn't handle a fluttering puck. Henrik Talinder, goes on the spinorama back to Tyler Myers. And Myers caught a little flat-footed, does the same thing. Wow. Back-to-back behind-the-back passes in their own zone from the Sabre defense. And now it's turned over at center. Cogliano brings it in and wires one off of Miller to the high glass.
That's a good stop by Ryan Miller.
Winnick on the doorstep and laying the paddle of the stick down. Miller denies him. 10 shots on goal for the Ducks. We haven't played 8 minutes. There's Cogliano in front, and it's just deflected away.
They're just relentless on the forecheck right now. The Sabres, who played last night, already looking a little foot-weary, John, in this one.
Molson's pass into the middle of the ice goes off a skate, and now pressure from Cogliano all over to Linder. He's at the end of his shift and now stumbles. Cogliano back to the Anaheim bench. Good to see Andrew back out on the ice for the Ducks. Of course, he took a hit from Shane Doan late in the game on Wednesday and limped to the Anaheim bench, and on the way, oh, by the way, scored a goal. As Bonino's shot is deflected into the glove of the Buffalo netminder Miller. But, you know, I'm not sure what it's going to take to keep Andrew Cogliano out of the lineup, Brian.
You know, he said this was actually a flare-up of an injury that has been lingering all season long. I spoke to Lisa Hillary about that in our pregame show tonight. But I tell you what, we watched him at the morning skate today, and he was absolutely flying. And Cogliano is the type of guy that he wants the coaches to know. He sent a message at the morning skate today that I am ready to go.
Zadorov drives up the left wing into the Anaheim zone. Pass across. Went off the post. Anderson lost his stick as Stafford drove the far post. I thought the puck went in and out, but they're saying it went off the goal post. Play goes on. Edom off his stick to Boschman and ends up in the near corners. That was deflected. Boy, what an exchange that was. Looking for the tip from Bonino. Francois Boschman's shot went wide. And now Pezic out of the corner looking for somewhere to go with it. Just throws it up the boards, but not out. Oh, and McCormick is going to take a penalty here as he had a vulnerable Kyle Palmieri and drove him into the dasher board. Zadorov comes over to talk to him, but Cody McCormick is going to the box.
You know, the Sabres gave up 2 power play goals last night against the Kings. The difference in that game, and Ducks have already got 1, and they're heading back onto the power play after that play. Here was the rush up ice. Zadorov gets it across. It's redirected. It's off the far post and out. So that was Stafford who just chopped at that puck. And that's a huge break for Freddie Anderson and the Ducks.
Buffalo's penalty minute leader adds 2 to his total. The Ducks 1 for 1 on the power play tonight. 9:22 time of the penalty. And Matthew Perreault out to take the draw.
We're pointing out on this number 1 power play unit, Ryan Getzlaf back on the point on the blue line, John, and it was Getzlaf that came all the way down to score that opening power play goal.
Steve Ott on the penalty kill, the Buffalo captain, hands it off to Brian Flynn in the corner. The former University of Maine standout can't keep possession, and Getzlaf sidesteps him as he outlets to Fowler. Cam gets center red around the boards. Miller can't stop it behind the goal. Flynn knocked to his knees, can't get it out. Getzlaf keeps it alive. Penner feeds it to an open Fowler. Gets traffic and they score! Perreault was drifting across the slot. I don't know if he touched it. It's 2-0.
Perreault was there. Henrik Talinder was also there for the Sabres. But now the goals start to come from the power play and from the defense. Here's the shot by Fowler. I think it's Talinder.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Talinder was doing what he was supposed to do, which was tie up the stick of Matthew Perreault, and that's a tough break. I mean, when you think about the Sabres and the situation they're in, they come down the ice, they hit a post, they take a penalty, and then they get one that bounces in off of their own defenseman. This is a team that needs every break they can get, and they're not getting any in this game.
How about Cam Fowler now? 6 points in his last 5 games. And that's his second goal of the year. Both have come on the power play. And icing will be the call against Anaheim here. As the Ducks up a pair, both coming on the power play tonight. The $10,000 Ducks versus Kings poker tournament is coming up, set for February 20th at San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino. Just a $25 buy-in, folks. All proceeds go to the Ducks Foundation and Kings Care. You can register at ducks.nhl.com/poker. And I think they might even let you buy back in. Why not? It all goes to a real good cause. Sabres trying to buy back into this one right now. Down a pair just 10 minutes in as Brian Flynn missed on the backhand. He's got it again high in the zone. He swings it down low. Girgensson shovels a backhander wide of the mark. Another of the youngsters we haven't talked much about. Zemgus Girgensson out of Latvia. Got a +3 in his last 3 games. They drafted him out of the USHL, Brian. You don't see too many first-rounders come out of Dubuque of the USHL. But Girgensson is even on the season in what has been a very tough season for all of the Sabres on the plus-minus ledger, as again the Ducks are called for icing.
Hopped over the stick as Sammy Vatanen headmanned. That's one of the things Bruce Boudreau will be watching closely with Vatanen as he returns to the lineup, is that first pass out of the zone. Beginning of the season, they were all tape to tape and crisp, and he was up on the attack all the time. Struggled a little bit in his last couple of games.
Yeah, I don't know how that puck stayed in the barn, but it did off the deflection high in the zone, and now Raquel trying to kick it free. Back to the line. Pezic's shot. Off a body, and again to Raquel, who uses the backhand to lob it out of harm's way back into the Buffalo zone. Cogliano trying to jump around big Zadorov, who gives it to Ennis, a strike through center ice. Tries to give it up and get it back. Instead, Zadorov, the trailer, will take it off the board. Nikita Zadorov bumped by Sammy Vatanen all the way around. Pezic threw it into the middle. It's gloved out of the zone by Raquel. Smart play there. Ducks can't play the puck, but if nothing else, it cleared the zone. Cody Hodgson's pass into the zone is denied. Knocked out of midair by Corey Perry. 4 goals in the last 3 games for Perry. Now 4th in the league in goal scoring. Some of his numbers are starting to look like they did in the Hart Trophy year. The top 10 in the league in shots on goal, goals, moving up the point scoring chart, game-winning goals. Very reminiscent of a very big year that Corey Perry had a couple of years back.
Well, if this line continues to play like they have been playing lately, look out, because they have just been dominating teams.
Brian Allen plays it around. Myers in front, had Foligno all alone, and he tipped it wide. Trop trying to turn away from pressure, loses the puck. Foligno gets it back. Across for Ott, maybe one pass too many there for the Sabres. Ott trying to get it to the net. The Ducks maybe being a little too fancy in front of their own net as well. But they'll live to see another day as Allen takes it to the relative safety of the backside of the goal. And now Anderson says, you know what, I'll play it.
This Buffalo team will hit you, that's for sure. You know, especially the Ott-centered line has got some beef on it with Foligno and Trop. So when you're playing against that trio, you better get your head up and make good decisions with puck.
Cody McCormick will hit you too. He gets it in front and they score. The young rookie, or his second-year man, Grigorenko, who'd been out of the lineup, I mentioned the last 3 games, gets the Sabres on the board.
Well, it was the forecheck, and McCormick got in on Nick Bonino, forced the turnover, and here's Grigorenko. Shovels it towards the goaltender and then follows his own shot to the net. He just taps home the rebound. There's the first save. There's the rebound. And the goaltender, Frederick Anderson, cannot get across with the right leg. So the Sabres, who have been dominated territorially, put together a couple of good shifts here. The Ducks turn some pucks over, John.
He had just 1 goal in those 25 games I mentioned a season ago. That's his first this year in 14 games, and the Sabres cut the Ducks lead in half. Now 2-1 Ducks as Lindholm brings it through center and gives it to Smith-Pelly, who tries to give it back to him. McCormick trailing him, knocks it behind the net, and losing the handle was Perreault. Motion swats at it in the line and keeps it in as Solani goes after it in the corner. Perreault gives it back to him. He kicks it away from Cody McCormick. Nice pass into the middle. Perreault off his skate, can't get it back. Back the other way comes the Sabres, and Ristolainen, the defenseman, got caught up ice on the play, and now Raquel, tracked by 3 defenders, puts a backhander on net, and Miller says, let's play on.
You know what? That was a crafty little shot by Rickard Raquel. He got a lot on that backhand.
He's open in the middle of the ice, lined up by Zadorov. He got his head up just in time, but lost possession. Now Zadorov swings it cross ice. Long shot fired wide of the goal, comes back up the near boards. Zadorov forced to retreat. Gergenson's got it out of the corner, and now Flynn works below the goal line. Brian Flynn, little backdoor pass, comes across, fired wide of the mark by Pezic. Again to the line, and Pezic can't get a shooting angle, throws it below the goal line off of Cam Fowler. Gergenson's again taken wide. Nice defensive play there by Raquel, who just took the body. Now they kick at it along the end boards. It squirts loose. Fowler moves it ahead. And Cogliano works it to center ice.
Sabres defense ultra aggressive at the blue line, keeping pucks alive here.
Yeah, it's Zadorov leading the rush right back in, and on the give and go, it went off his stick behind the net. Dug off the back of the Anaheim goal by Fowler once more. Anaheim needs a defensive change. Getzlaf realizing that now will return to the backside of the cage. Wholesale changes on the go. He finds Allen off the bench. Penner into the middle of the ice, makes a move, kicks it across the line, but didn't keep possession, so it's offside. The Sabres get one back. 2-1 Ducks.
The Buffalo Sabres, the first team to dress 4 teenagers since the 95-96 season. And what's interesting about all of these high draft picks, they're all from outside North America, and some people consider that a little bit of a gamble on the part of the Buffalo Sabres to have all of your top picks without any, they're not to include any players born in North America, and it hasn't worked out for them yet. It's tough, John. I look at all those youngsters, and I do think about the Edmonton Oilers who went to the bottom seemingly intentionally in order to get high draft picks. But if you don't surround the youngsters with kind of a winning tradition and a winning environment, sometimes they just never seem to get over the hump as a team.
Well, it's tough to develop at the NHL level, period. You worry about the development. Mikhail Grigorenko, who has the goal tonight, was just Rookie of the Year in the Quebec League a little over a year ago. It's a big step, to say the least. And his goal tonight, just his second in 39 NHL games. So the development still a little slow, offensively speaking. New this year, all rental suites for Ducks games are all inclusive with your choice from food and beverage menus. Excuse me. For more information and pricing, call 714-634-2582. Under 4 to go. Opening period. The Ducks lead Buffalo 2-1. Getzlaf backhands it through center, and 3 abreast. Here come the Ducks as Spiza joins the rush. Long shot off the wing, easily handled by the blocker of Miller from Penner. It comes loose in front. Getzlaf scores! Wow! What a shot!
Well, this is a strange bounce off of one of the stanchions here at Honda Center. It's rimmed around. It hits one of the stanchions, kind of bouncing around. No one can get the handle on it, but Getzlaf, with those magical hands of his, controls that rolling puck and just whips it up into the top corner, and that shot is perfect. And the captain's got 2 already tonight.
It was a nice little play by Penner, who got to that strange bounce you referred to and made just that short little pass. And as you can tell, it doesn't take long for Ryan Getzlaf. As his 8th and 9th of the season, and the Ducks have the 2-goal lead back, now 3-1. Fowler back into his own zone, pressured behind the net. It's lobbed into the middle. Molson couldn't glove it down, and now Cogliano leads it back and gets it back. Raquel drives the center lane, and the shot off of Miller came right back to Cogliano.
I like that center lane drive there by Rickard Rakell.
Ducks recover possession below the goal line. Molson drops down low to intercept. And now Tyler Ennis hits the referee with a Cogliano in front. Oh, off the stick of Raquel. Ended up in the corner.
I was talking with Rickard Rakell this morning. He had a near miss last game against Mike Smith. Had a puck kind of rattle around between the goaltender's feet. And he said, it's going to come one of these days. I just know it is.
Well, it's pretty easy to think that watching him from up here, too. He does so many things well. He's been very heady so far in his Ducks experience this year. He got 4 games a year ago, but he plays a smart game. Now it's Emerson Edom off to the races into the Buffalo zone. Pulls it in, goes backhand, and Miller with the paddle to stick down denies that. Edom gets it back from Bonino as he's given a rough ride down low. Drew Stafford leaning on him there. In comes Pezic, and the puck sent around. Lindholm all the way to the hash mark. Now holds it. Quick shot from a sharp angle, and Miller held the post. Lindholm has it again. Goal and an assist here on Wednesday against Phoenix, including his first NHL goal for Hampus Lindholm, who's now plus 13 on the year. That's second in the entire NHL. Great shift here as Edom comes out of the corner with it, gets it on net. Miller can't corral the rebound, and Stafford puts it underneath his goaltender to get the whistle.
Great shift for the Ducks. Tremendous pressure. But it's Ryan Getzlaf's show so far tonight. The Ducks lead 3-1.
Well, we talked about it earlier tonight. This is the 1400th regular season NHL game for the Finnish Flash. So many great memories over the years. Just another great milestone. Only 2 other European players have preceded him to 1,400 games. There's the goal that we can not get enough of there, Brian.
I love,
that one.
just love seeing that goal. That vintage Solani going to the backhand and just roofing it. By the way, we should mention the Solani Steakhouse in Laguna Beach opened officially for business tonight, John. And you or I were fortunate enough to spend an evening there last night. And I can tell you, it is just a terrific, upscale steak restaurant. We wish them all the best.
Unique place indeed. Here he is on the wing, just getting a right pad on it. Was Miller very nearly right on cue. The Flash getting a goal there, and the Ducks again recover in the neutral zone. Smith Pelly will put it on the glass and in. Yeah, part of me thinks that's why he got his teeth fixed so quickly, Ryan. The restaurant was due to open. I mean, come on. There's a big hit on the far side as pinching up the wall was Luca Spiza. Under a minute to go in an opening period that with one small detail has gone Anaheim's way the whole way. The Grigorenko goal really the only lump of coal in Anaheim's stocking so far. As they lead it 3-1, they've outshot the Sabres 21-7. Here comes Getzlaf looking for a first period hat trick perhaps. Instead he opts for the pass. He bumps Zador off behind the net. Penner gets it back in front. There's Getzlaf. There's the hat trick.
They just can't handle them. They're too big and they're too strong. They can't get the puck away. It's been keep away for the Getzlaf line tonight. A hat trick in the opening period for Ryan Getzlaf, and the Ducks have got a 4-1 lead. And I got to be honest, I feel sorry for Ryan Miller. He is alone in that Buffalo goal crease.
22 first period shots on goal. I think that's the third time this season the Ducks have eclipsed 20 shots on goal in a single period. And what a shift for Getzlaf.
Yeah, and there he is with Zadorov behind the net. Puck comes right back to him. The Sabres are just too slow to put pressure on these talented Anaheim forwards. They get the puck and they have time. They have time to wait for someone to jump into a hole and make themselves available to receive a pass.
19.3 seconds remain in the period as we take a look at the hat trick marker once more.
Yeah, and he's just got way too much time. You see the reach of Ryan Getzlaf as he goes to the backhand and essentially just wraps that puck right around the outstretched leg of Ryan Miller. But you got to feel for Ryan Miller. I mean, he has no help whatsoever tonight.
Now the eyes say it all for the Buffalo netminder. Not that far removed from the 2009-10 campaign when he won 41 games, a Buffalo franchise record. As winning chases Ristolainen into the Buffalo zone in the waning seconds of the period, and Cogliano's shot is in his glove with under 10 to go.
Ryan Getzlaf, 22 points now, tied for second overall in the National Hockey League. Pretty good night so far tonight. 4 minutes and 56 seconds of ice time. He's got 4 points.
That means he's got 6 points in his last 4 periods of hockey. You could say he's hot. Fowler's shot off a Buffalo stick out of play, and the clock will stop with 2 seconds remaining in a period that can't end quickly enough for the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, they've stopped playing in front of Miller. I mean, they just turned the puck over in the defensive zone again, and the Ducks got another scoring chance from Cogliano. They've just stopped playing, and that's what you worry about, quite frankly, when you have this many youngsters in the lineup and they get this discouraged at the beginning of their NHL careers. Ron Rolston has got a big job ahead of him inside that Sabres locker room to get them to start competing, because they stopped halfway through that period.
So Anaheim starts early and scores often in the opening period. Getzlaf got it started on a power play in the first couple minutes of the period. He would add 2 more. Fowler got another on the power play. Already with a hat, the captain and the Ducks up 4-1. Boy, what do you do for an encore after that first period? The Ducks lead Buffalo 4-1 after 20 minutes of play. John O'Brien back with you in the broadcast booth above center ice. And I will pose that question, Brian. They got up 2-0, and it looked like maybe there was a little lull at that point.
Yeah.
It's got to be human nature. It's got to be hard to keep your foot on the gas the way that first period ended for Anaheim.
What Bruce Boudreau will be doing inside the Anaheim locker room, he'll be saying, look, their coach is over there challenging them as individuals. He'll be referencing the fact that they look like they have stopped playing.
Yeah.
With the expectation that he will light a fire under them. It was interesting at the end of the period because Ryan Miller looked like, to me, he was collecting his thoughts.
Yeah.
He was hanging out on the ice when the rest of his team was in the locker room. As the veteran presence back there, I think he was trying to figure out what the heck am I going to say to get this team to play, because they didn't play much in the opening 20 minutes. As we take a look at our Honda highlights, Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf, and Dustin Penner were on fire in the opening 20 minutes. It was Getzlaf who would bang home the first goal. That was a power play goal off the blast from the point from Cam Fowler. But every time they were on the ice, they were dangerous. There was another bid by Corey Perry. Here's another opportunity for Corey Perry on the wraparound. The Sabres defense just a half step slow. That was the opportunity that went off the post. Thought it might be a wake-up call for the Ducks. It was on the next power play. Fowler's shot actually deflects in off of Henrik Linder. It goes in. Sabres show some life, however, as Grigorenko, inserted in the lineup, would bang home his own rebound. But then some sloppy defensive play. Getzlaf wide open. He jumps on a rolling puck. He buries that one. And then the captain again just way too much time in front of Ryan Miller, a wide open net to slide it home into.
Lisa Hillary standing by with Brad Lauer.
Thanks, John. Brad, your team is up 4-1 right now, yet Ryan Getzlaf just told me it wasn't a great first period by your hockey club. What did he mean by that?
Well, I think there's some areas that we were a little bit sloppy, and I thought our defensive zone coverage wasn't where we like it, and that's one thing that's important. We're up 4-1, but we know we can play better, and that's what we got to do the next 40 minutes.
Thanks, Brad. John?
A little scary to think that way when you look at the scoreboard and the 22 shots on goal that the Ducks authored in the opening period. I'm sure Ryan Miller is not hoping he sees the Ducks play better in this second period. Johan Larsson into the Anaheim zone. Throws it below the goal line, now to the line. Tyler Myers looking to open up a shooting lane, drives up the boards below the hash mark, brings it in front, and backhands it right through the crease.
So I think the question has been answered about whether the players on the Sabres are going to actually play in this period, John. So Myers engaged right off the bat. The Sabres dangerous on their opening shift of the game, and they're bringing the aggressive forecheck.
Look at Perreault stick handle around a couple different defenders, then he gets decked. And the Sabres get the puck back. Flynn battles it below the goal line. It'll come around near side, and Francois Beauchemin has it there.
Yeah, good opening shift of the period for Buffalo. They get the puck in deep. They don't play in their own zone.
McCormick gets it off his skate in the neutral zone, and the Sabres regain possession. Drew Stafford has the pass go off his skate, and in transition, here come the Ducks. Getzlaf and Perry. Perry pulls it in, and just getting a piece of it was Pezic, deflecting it wide. Brian Allen sends it to him behind the net as he held it in at the point. Snaps it over for Penner. The return pass intended for Perry, but Zadorov got in the way. Penner gets it back. Zadorov is a big man, and he breaks up the return feed. And the Sabres throw it into the Anaheim bench. As we're early here in the second, let's take a look at those numbers from the first. As I mentioned, the shots on goal rather glaring.
22 shots to 7 in favor of the Ducks. Scoring chances 14-6. Chances off of the rush 7-1 in favor of Anaheim. The Ducks just look like the much quicker team in the opening 20 minutes.
Off the draw, boy, Miller didn't see that till the last minute. A quick shot from Vatanen off of one face-off, but he was able to block her away. Now, you mentioned it in the first period. The Sabres played last night up at Staples against the Kings. And when you get a team coming in playing the back end of back-to-backs, though, nobody feels sorry for them. You want to try to take advantage of that and make those legs feel as heavy as maybe they are, or maybe you just think they are.
You know, the school of thought is that the team that played the night before usually has an edge early on, and then that shifts to the other team for the second half of the game. But
Raquel trying to join the rush make it a 2-on-1 there. Again, off his stick as he got to the front of the net. Second time tonight, he's found himself in a good scoring position. Sabres go for a change. 2.5 into the middle period as Brian Allen's pass through the middle glances off of Foligno and comes to the near side. Ducks send it in as Spiza gets it deep. And the Sabres will just lob it back out, and Spiza retreats into his own zone after it.
You know, the Ducks had a mandatory day off. Nobody practiced yesterday. And Bruce Boudreau was concerned about whether or not they would be crisp and sharp in the opening period.
That's what coaches do, right? They worry.
Oh, they worry a lot.
Palmieri with a one-timer as he tracks it down, crossing the zone, but Miller had time to get square. 20th save of the night for Ryan Miller. Ducks lead 4-1 early second. Frederick Anderson hasn't been that busy. Second Ducks goaltender ever to win his first 4 decisions, Frederick Anderson. The other, of course, last year was Victor Fost. He won his first 8 decisions. Pezic's shot got through. Big traffic in front. Girgensons went down, as did Flynn. Zadorov drives one, and that kicked away by the left leg of Anderson. Smith-Pelly trying to retreat and then put it in the corner, but he gave it right to Larson. Now he has it a second time. Spiza tries to move it ahead. Girgensons kept it in. Pezic feeds it down low. Flynn tries to go back against the grain, but his pass picked off by Smith-Pelly, who gets the legs churning and away to center. Across the line with Perreault. Perreault was trying to go far post. It went off Pezic's skate, nearly went in short side.
He had Solani driving to that far post. The Sabres fortunate that puck deflects off of the defenseman's skate.
Perry lets the puck come around and out. Penner unable to track it down. Stafford plays it back in, but he doesn't get it back. Penner handles the pass, and the return feed from Perreault doesn't make it to him. Dustin tracks it down and chops it in. Penner, I believe, with 3 assists in that opening period. He continues a hot streak. 7 assists in his last 5 games. That is a scoring streak for Dustin Penner. And now Perry comes up with a loose puck, gets it through, rebound, Penner scores! Right on cue.
Well, for the big man, Dustin Penner, go to the net and good things will happen. Corey Perry makes a great shot here that Miller actually fights off. He kind of chicken wings it with the left arm. And as a result, the rebound sits down. But again, the Sabres defense unable to clear those rebounds for Ryan Miller. And the Ducks have got 5 on the board.
.453 in the second. Penner has his 3rd of the year, and the Ducks lead 5-1. Pass broken up in the neutral zone, and back come the Sabres. Tyler Ennis. And it knocked off his stick, and then pressure high in the zone forces the Sabre defense to retreat. Daniel Winnick strides in. His pass across off a stick stays in the barn as Talinder went after it. Winnick loses an edge behind the net. He had some help from Tyler Myers. Still tries to battle for the puck. Cogliano gives chase. And Cody Hodgson chips it up the boards, and dropping back to get it is Ennis.
Remember, this is the big line for the Sabres.
Being forced to play in their own end. Here's Vatanen, and boy, he rockets it wide. Got almost to the hash marks right down the slot. Winnick trying to bat it out of midair. Does get it away from Talinder to the line for Fowler. Brings it in, tipped right on. I think Winnick got a piece of that, and I think Miller got the left leg on it.
They just can't handle the speed of the Ducks down low. I mean, Anaheim is still getting to every loose puck.
Ricard Raquel changing directions in the near corner, and Hodgson's tired, can't get it away from him. Tried to center it back, but couldn't connect with Emerson Edom. Kept in at the line by Spiza, and Edom's shot off the leg of Talinder. Edom had a couple of goals last Saturday night in Buffalo in that 6-3 win over the Sabres. And finally Buffalo gets possession, and Tyler Ennis chips it in. Ennis had a 20-goal season as a rookie 3 years ago, but has been unable to regain that goal-scoring touch since. Pezic angles it off the wall, and Corey Trop gets a rough ride from Spiza as he dumps it in. Anderson keeps it moving along the wall. Steve Ott intercepts. Zadorov misses the net. Pezic keeps it alive. Ott back for Zadorov, and he can't handle the pass. Batted away by Palmieri. Trop comes back in offside. The Ducks have added to the lead here in the second. Now a 4-point night for Dustin Penner as well. His goal makes it 5-1. 12 goals in 12 points, I should say, in 11 games for Dustin Penner because he had the last goal in the game. That means the Ducks have scored 5. And fans, you can go to AnaheimDucks.com/Hooters, print the coupon. It's redeemable for 5 free wings at any Southern California Hooters location in the next 24 hours.
And by the way, Dustin Penner, his career high in points in a game. He once scored 5. Well, a member of the Edmonton Oilers. That was back in October of 2009.
Speaking of former Ducks in Edmonton, getting word that Ilya Bryzgalov is back in the National Hockey League as an Edmonton Oiler now. Interesting development. There's Solani with a great chance set up by Smith-Pelly, and Miller mercifully holds on. And tempers begin to flare. And some would say from a Buffalo standpoint, maybe it's about time.
Yeah, and the referees are very aware of what this score is and that this game could very quickly get out of hand. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on the players at the end of plays after the whistles. There's the cross-ice pass to Teemu Selanne. Good stop by Ryan Miller. Again, it's the speed away from the puck that the Sabres have not been able to deal with in terms of trying to contain the Ducks tonight. Still has the wheels, Teemu Selanne.
Face off to the left of Miller. Nick Bonino wins the draw. And I don't think Miller ever saw the shot from the point that went wide. Bonino 60% in the last 4 games in the face-off circle. Now improved to over 53% on the season. Lindholm handles it at his own line. And things starting to get a little spicier out there. The Ducks on top 5-1, and we're not even halfway through. Here's Larson, little drop pass, trying to find room, and Anderson steers that to the end. Came right back in front, and he makes the save. Girgensons with a good chance there. Allen gets center red, and one hop is handled by Miller, who will hold on.
Ryan Miller probably just relieved not to see the Getzlaf line on the ice because they have been dominant. Penner, a goal and 3 assists. Getzlaf, 3 goals and an assist. Corey Perry's got a couple of assists. All 3 members of the top line of the Ducks, a +3 on the evening thus far.
As a line, their shooting percentage is nearly 40%. Here's Drew Stafford, and he punches Spiza in the head on the way by.
I think Spiza's going to get the interference.
Spiza for interference.
Yeah. This is a very marginal call, and Lucas Spiza is talking to the referee, and he's saying, look, I did not change my lane. See, Spiza keeps going straight back. He does give him a little punch. That's a very marginal call against Lucas Spiza.
Brad Watson makes the call that'll put Buffalo on the power play for the first time tonight. So a Sabre power play unit that not surprisingly is struggling this year. 7 power play goals on the season. 12.7%, 25th in the league. And when it gets in a passing lane, the puck glancing right to Fowler, who ices it.
You know, the 2 most dangerous players in this Buffalo power play will be Matt Moulson and, of course, big Tyler Myers. We saw in the game in Buffalo that Myers will come right down the top of the goal crease, and he's a big man.
He's already between the circles right now. Has to retreat to the point to keep this puck in. Hodgson slides it over. One-time shot. Missed the mark from McBain. Allen, the pick save and a beauty, enabling the puck to the line, but not out.
Well, good battle won by the Sabres there.
Now Molson dumped along the near boards, enables Anaheim to get possession. Winnick trying to reverse it away. McBain at the line will hold it in. Jamie McBain now hands it off, and that shot fired wide by Cody Hodgson will come around and out.
That did not miss by much. That was a good low shot by Hodgson. He appeared to have the goaltender Anderson moving.
Fowler did a good job to make up space on Stafford, forcing the Sabres to bring it around, and that shot doesn't get through. Stafford, little friendly fire, hit Ennis with it. Stafford across now for McBain. Former Carolina Hurricane gets it to the front of the net. Molson can't get to the carom. And behind the net, Bonino does some good work to find Fowler. And on the backhand, he will clear the zone.
Yeah, good job. Good battling save, we'll call that, by Frederik Andersen, as he had to deal with traffic in and around that goal crease.
Just past the halfway mark of the hockey game, 20 seconds left of the Buffalo power play. Sabres were 1 for 2 Saturday night in Buffalo against Anaheim with the extra man. But they're down to their final 10 seconds of this man advantage. Stafford pinned to the boards by Raquel, and then the return pass goes through him. Spiza out of the box, the Ducks full strength. So a successful penalty kill for Anaheim. And now Lindholm trying to work a puck loose in the corner. Knocks down Steve Ott, and the puck cleared with some good work at the line by Smith-Pelly. Talinder stretches it ahead, and the Sabres right back in. Ott doesn't get much on it. Kicked away by Anderson as he's got traffic in his crease. Raquel went right over top of his netminder.
The Ducks forwards here flying out of that zone pretty darn early.
Raquel steers one across the line. He's at the end of the shift. Gets it back from Perry. Tries to work it deep, and does. Perry lurking in the slot. Can't get to that pass. A couple different Sabres there to knock it away. Brian Flynn clearing the zone. Sammy Vatanen back to get it. Hands it off to Dustin Penner. He has a goal and 3 assists tonight. Getzlaf has 3 goals and an assist. Flynn rifles it ahead. Kurgensen's caught on the back check by Penner as Getzlaf stepped up on it. Perry carries through neutral ice. Trying to get around. Talinder did, but couldn't keep the handle on it as he cut to the slot.
Corey Perry never ceases to amaze me the way he can, when he's feeling it, attack defensemen one-on-one. And it's not like he has got the kind of breakaway speed that he can blow around them. He puts that puck into their skates intentionally, and they have all kinds of trouble figuring out what the heck Corey Perry's going to do with it.
The thing I love about Perry on those rushes, too, is he just doesn't throw the puck away. Here's Smith-Pelly trying to get to the front of the net. He eventually gets dumped as Miller gets the whistle. 7:55 to play in the second at Honda Center.
Welcome back to Honda Center. The Ducks up 5-1. Cam, you find yourselves you have to get a little bit more aggressive against these Buffalo forwards who aren't afraid to throw their bodies around.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need to make sure that we take their time and space away, and they're a physical group, so if we can just move pucks quick, we should be okay.
Thanks, Cam. John?
5-1, Anaheim has the lead. Under 8 to go in this second period that has seen the Ducks score the only goal. Dustin Penner's third of the year as Perreault is sent packing from the circle. And Teemu Selanne will spell him. And he wins the draw. Allen trying to get it to the net. It's blocked out of the zone, however. Cody McCormick up with it. Throws it cross ice off a skate back into the Buffalo zone. Jamie McBain shovels it back off of Allen, so no icing. Spiza returns the feed below the goal line. Corey Trop goes spinning in after a loose puck. Anderson knocked it away at the side of the goal, but it's still there. McBain gets it from McCormick cross ice, and Ristolainen knocks the stick out of Solanne's hands, turns and whips it wide. McBain holds on the left point. Trop down low, takes a hit, gets it to McCormick. He's got time and space, and that's blocked by Smith-Pelly. Selanne up with it, just feeds it up the left boards, and the foot race will be won by the Sabres' Jamie McBain. Plays it back up the wall, clearing the zone, and Trop protecting the puck from Winnick. McCormick joins him, gives it to Trop, 2-on-1 down low, and they score! It's Grigorenko again! There's a nice play by Corey Trop in the neutral zone. He protects the puck, and they get an odd man rush.
Yeah, Cam Fowler goes for the hit on McCormick, and so the 3-on-2 turns into a 2-on-1 when he can't get to the puck. The Sabres, boy, Daniel Winnick lets the Buffalo centerman go, and Trop makes a nice pass to Mikhail Grigorenko for his second goal of the night.
He had one NHL goal coming into tonight. He's got two through less than 2 periods. Now 5-2 Ducks. As Cogliano puts it into the middle of the ice. Also with a stick of Winnick, and now he tries to kick for it in the corner, but Hodgson comes away with it. Olsen gloves it down and then gets knocked down by Motley. A lot of pressure on Anaheim back in their own zone, and Anderson wisely covers up as it comes to the side of his goal. Well, the Ducks will close out this homestand on Sunday when they'll be home to host Vancouver. It will be Ducks Military Appreciation Night presented by GovX. In support of Veterans First, the Ducks will be collecting non-perishable food items at the Ducks in the Community booth in the hockey spot starting at 3 p.m. Come on out and support local veterans in need. That's Sunday, a 5 o'clock face-off against the Vancouver Canucks.
Bruce Boudreau gets the Getzoff line back onto the ice. Remember, they scored relatively soon after the Sabres scored their opening goal of the game.
Lindholm from behind his own goal leads it across the line. The captain settles the puck, hits it back. His backhander comes right to Miller, who covers up.
Lindholm, the fourth player on the attack, and the puck is just following Ryan Getzlaf around tonight's game. Trying to make a pass into the middle, but it's off the young Russian defender. Zadorov comes right back to him, and Getzlaf shovels a backhander into the midsection of the goalie.
Zadorov getting back in the lineup for the first time in the last 3 games. This just his 7th NHL game. Still has junior eligibility for the London Knights of the OHL, and the Sabres don't have to make a decision just yet on it. Have a couple more games after tonight before it would be decision time. Stafford and Lindholm race after a loose puck. Lindholm doesn't clear the line, however, despite winning that race. Myers keeps it in. Talinder gets it through. Anderson steers it aside. Henrik Talinder already with a couple of goals on the season. Leading scoring defenseman, goal-scoring defenseman for the Sabres coming into tonight. And Buffalo on a change. Now so will be the Ducks as it's feathered in by Penner. Jurgensen brings it back. Goes wide in the Anaheim zone. Now turns, and as he's knocked off his feet by Spiza, hooks it below the goal line. Ristolainen sends it across. McBain's shot blocked on the way. And the Ducks have a man fly the zone. It was Palmieri who got behind the defense, but then he's flat-footed at the line as Edom tries to give it to him. Now Palmieri breaks up a pass in the neutral zone. Jurgensen's knocked down by Palmieri. Kyle Palmieri had his second NHL fight in the latter stages of the win here against Phoenix on Wednesday night. Fought Andy Mealy.
Talking with Emerson Edom about that, because Edom has one career fight. That was Palmieri's second. And these guys are very aware of that, by the way.
Keep track of that stuff, don't they?
They certainly do.
Lindholm with a strike across the neutral zone off the stick of Smith-Pelly. Zadorov puts it on top of the dasher. This will go all the way down, and for some reason they waive the icing. Oshima hammers it off the boards. Smith-Pelly got a piece of it, gets it back into the middle of the ice, and full flight Perreault goes to the backhand, hooks it back. Didn't have anyone at the far post. He thought Solani might be there. Teemu gets it back across the zone for Perreault. Down low, Smith-Pelly in front. Solani turned away. Oh, fought off by Miller.
What a stop. That was just a great stop by Ryan Miller. And Solani darts into that hole. Wait, Matthew Perreault, the speed of Perreault is something to see.
Teemu takes a stretch pass and fires high into the glove of Miller at the end of his shift. Teemu still getting scoring chances. The Ducks up 5-2.
The Ducks on the attack. I've circled Teemu Solani, but the thing to look at here are the heads of the 3 Buffalo players down low. Everybody looking at the puck. As we roll this forward, it's too late. By the time the Smith Valley dishes that puck to Teemu Selanne. Then they realize, oh, there's a third guy high coming down to the top of the goal crease. And that's been happening time and time again. The low coverage for Buffalo. You hear coaches use the term, get your head on a swivel. They haven't really been doing much of that tonight. And so that third man that's high for the Ducks has become a very, very dangerous person on the ice.
Icing the call here. A reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, we look forward to Miller Time coming up later on in tonight's game. As always, brought to you by Miller Lite. Sabres give up on average just a shade under 36 shots on goal a game. We have 3:15 to go in the second. They've already surrendered 33. Stafford sweeps it deep into the Anaheim zone, and Frederik Andersen is there to stop it. Allen rims it around, and it's battled out by the captain Getzlaf. Perry trying to protect in the neutral zone. Can't get it past center red, and right back in is Talinder, the defenseman. Well, you mentioned it earlier, Brian. The defensemen have led the rush more times than not for Buffalo in this game. They were very aggressive. Marcus Foligno's shot off of Getzlaf sticking out of play.
Well, especially whenever Tyler Myers is on the ice. He's going to be up in the play. I don't think, I got to believe Ron Rolston does not want to see Henrik Talinder leading the rush very often. He's no longer the fastest player in the world. And if the puck turns over, there's no way he's going to be able to get back to defend.
Sabres return home after this one. They'll entertain the Los Angeles Kings. Their next action is Tuesday, back in Buffalo, where they still seek their first win of the year on home ice. Here's a 2-on-1, Raquel and Cogliano. Raquel fires high and wide and then goes right into Miller. And we get a whistle as the two of them untangle back in the Buffalo goal.
Rickard Raquel looking for his first career NHL goal. And he's thinking top of the net. He's going to cut in to improve his shooting angle, which is the right play. He just loses an edge at the last second. And I thought that Ryan Miller showed remarkable restraint.
Yeah, his composure was pretty good, considering it was a rookie underneath him.
Yeah, Raquel just flat out ran right over top of him.
Miller probably wondering why maybe there wasn't a call as well on the play, but still 5-on-5 as just over 2 remains in the second period. Francois Beauchemin sweeps it out of the zone on the backhand. Rifled ahead, the Sabres onside as Gergensen tries to give and go with Larson, but it's knocked out of midair by Lindholm. Up the boards, Edom drops down to pick up a loose puck, turns on the Jets. 3 abreast into the zone. Palmieri tries to hook it back, and Edom got pushed in a little too deep. Kyle Palmieri seals it off on the near side. To the front of the net, intercepted, and McBain rifles it out of harm's way for Corey Trop. Trop trying to chip it around the defense and go get it, but it's swatted back, and Edom lobs it cross corner into the Buffalo zone. McBain gets it ahead to Grigorenko, who has both Buffalo goals in this game. Sabres clear, and again a 50-50 puck just chopped deep as Winnick gets the better of that. Cogliano intercepts, and Raquel takes it off his skate. Now it's Winnick. Back for Raquel. Great pass in front. Cogliano scores. Well, Raquel doesn't get the goal, but he gets his first NHL point.
And it's third man high again, darting to the top of the Buffalo goal crease. And this time it's the young centerman Larson that can't stay with Andrew Cogliano. There's Cogliano up high. Watch him dart. And he's already into the goal crease before Larson can even lay a stick on him. Winnick to Raquel. It's an area pass. He just wants to make sure it's far enough away from the goal net that the goaltender Ryan Miller can't get a touch on the pass. And Cogliano bangs it home.
4th time in this young season that the Ducks have scored 6 goals in a game. The last 2 times coming in their games against the Buffalo Sabres.
A nice little cycle down low. Winnick to Raquel. And I got to believe, we can't hear it, obviously, from up here. But I got to believe there was a yell from Andrew Cogliano, because that was a blind pass right onto the tape.
2 goals in the last 2 games for Cogliano, who has 3 goals and 4 points in his last 6. And it's 6-2 Ducks. Here's Perreault with Solani and Smith-Pelly. Smith-Pelly takes the hit from Ott from his knees, tries to keep the play alive. Stafford battles it up, and Zadorov plays it across. Steve Ott, a longtime Dallas Star, has his pass go off a skate and ricochet back out to neutral ice. Under a minute to play in the second period that has seen the Ducks extend their lead. Now up 6-2. Foligno feathers it in. Allen will play it as Anderson stays home, and he took a pretty big hit.
No, he did.
Gergenson's again in on the forecheck.
But what he did do, John, is he got his body right up against the boards. And, you know, defensemen will tell you that that's the key when they're coming with the aggressive forecheck. Absorb the hit and let the boards take part of the punishment. Andrew Cogliano has got goal number 6 on board for the Ducks, and they are cruising in this one tonight. A comfortable 6-2 lead through 40 minutes.
The Ducks led 4-1 after 1. Penner would add to that early in the period, and after they gave another one up, Cogliano late in the period. 6-2 after 2. Beautiful night out on the Grand Terrace at Honda Center. All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the Anaheim Ducks is expressly prohibited. 6-2, the Ducks on top of the Buffalo Sabres after 2 periods of play. And time for tonight's AT&T Rewind. A lot of scoring of late, but the Ducks defense getting into the game, and Cam Fowler specifically, Brian, with 2 in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and this is just great news for the Ducks to see Fowler starting to find the back of the net. That was a power play goal. This was also a power play goal. He got a fortunate bounce, but, you know, it's one of the things that Bruce Boudreau and his coaching staff have been working on with these young defensemen is finding ways to get point shots through around the player who's coming out to challenge the shot from the blue line. At times it's been difficult, but you would think with the skating ability that Cam Fowler has, that he would be one of the rare talents in this league that can really walk that line, create lanes for himself to get shots through to the front of the net. And he's done a real nice job of it, obviously, in the last couple of games. I just think it's great to see Cam adopting the attitude of, I'm going to get the puck in my stick and I'm going to shoot it. I'm not going to think about just chipping it down low. I'm going to get it to the top of the goal crease.
And Brian, you talk about getting those shooting lanes, getting shots through. At the other end of the ice, this might surprise a lot of people. Cam Fowler is the block shot leader for the Ducks this season. I remember talking to him earlier in the year. He's got a couple of blocks tonight. And he said, you know what, I guess I got to become a shot blocker. He kind of said it with a wry grin on his face, like he was always almost making fun of himself. But this is the development of a young defenseman, a young player, and we've gotten to watch it over the last 3+ years. And all of a sudden, you know what? Cam Fowler is a shot blocker.
And sometimes it takes younger defensemen in particular a little bit more time. You cannot replace experience in different situations down low in the defensive zone. I think especially on the penalty kill. And I think the other reason why Fowler is leading this defensive team in the shot blocking category is that Bruce Boudreau is really using him a lot more often this season on the penalty kill. He likes his speed. He can get the loose pucks and get clears.
Again, part of the development in the early portion of his career. Not seeing that end of the special teams play nearly as much. Third period underway. And Sammy Vatanen ridden off a puck down low by Larson. And the Sabres work below the goal line. Fowler engages his man there. Loose puck picked up and worked around the perimeter. Talinder got a shot through, and it sticks to Frederik Andersen.
And a new goaltender is starting this third period for the Buffalo Sabres. Enroth is back in. Enroth, of course, played against the Ducks 6 days ago in Buffalo. And as you pointed out, John, all 6 Anaheim goals top glove on Enroth. So we'll look for that here in the third period.
A somewhat merciful replacement after 2 periods of play as Ryan Miller looks on from the Buffalo bench. Faced 34 shots in 2 periods. That's 131 shots against Miller in the last 2 games and 2 periods of play. He has been busy. this season. Corey Trop giving a rough ride down low, knocked to his knees, gets back up and possesses the puck. Big hit by Spiza, who's going to take a penalty here. Trop had given the puck up, and Spiza gave him a shot. Now McCormick grabs him from behind. Trop was chopping at the back of Luca's legs as they went back to the front of the net. And Getzlaf out of the corner, engaged as well there with Pezic. Spiza's going to get the penalty.
You know, Spiza and Allen is the most physical defense pairing that the Ducks have. Lucas just kind of getting his feet wet in this young National Hockey League season. Of course, he had that high ankle sprain that's going to be with him for most of the year. He gets an angle on Trop, and Trop is a hitter for the Sabres, so there might be a little bit more to that than we know. Trop, in fact, just recently, he's wearing that face mask, coming back from a broken jaw. And, I'm sure that the wires you can still see on his teeth. Asked him how he was able to keep his weight up, and he said, you know, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be.
I could have told him that. Getting the weight down that I don't have any answers for him on. Second power play of the night for the Sabres. Marcus Foligno starts from behind the goal. A Buffalo native. Foligno's father, Mike, of course, spent the majority of his career as a Sabre. Marcus born in the city where he now plays. And Winnick hit by Foligno as he took the puck deep into the Buffalo zone.
Good job here by the penalty killing forwards to really put some pressure up ice and make it tough on Buffalo to get set up.
Ott gains the line. Stutter step move by Stafford, forced behind the goal by Fowler. Myers walks the line, barely keeping it in the zone. McBain angles it down low. Ott upended, but he puts it below the goal line. Stafford keeps his feet moving. Myers retreats to the point, and his shot blocked out center ice.
You can see the pressure coming from the penalty killers, and they're eventually able to force that turnover.
Stafford tries to pull the puck inside, but has the puck dislodged by Francois Beauchemin. And he's got time and space, and he'll use the boards to shoot it all the way down. 35 seconds left as Enroth out to get his first touch on the puck since spelling Miller after the second intermission. Enroth played last night at Staples Center, made 26 saves in a 2-0 loss to the Kings. Flynn brings it into the middle, and his shot tipped behind the net. And the net is off behind Anderson as the penalty to Spiza down under 20 seconds. Later on this season, it'll be Fan Appreciation Night here at Honda Center, and you could win a 2014 Honda Odyssey. All you have to do is log on to the website, AnaheimDucks.com/Honda Odyssey. Enter to win. You must be 18 years of age to play.
I'm always envious of 6'4", 235-pound goaltenders like Frederik Andersen, because it's amazing how easy it seems to be for him to pop that net off of its moorings at times. I have to ask him if he's doing that intentionally, but he seems to have a knack for doing it when the Ducks are under a little bit of pressure.
You are a conspiracy theorist, aren't you?
Oh, yes, I am.
Final seconds of the penalty to Spiza. Chipped in, the Sabres will try to retrieve it. He's out of the box. The Ducks full strength and 2 for 2 on the kill tonight. Vatanen moves it behind the goal, intercepted by Flynn. To the line, Ristolainen. Finn sends it wide of the goal, and to the near side, it's one-handed up and out by Spiza, who joins the play. Now he'll go to the bench as it's brought right back in by Pezic. Right-hand shooting defenseman on the left wing, trying to get it below the goal line, and he continues to try to muscle it free. Matthew Perreault is there, wins the puck. And Smith-Pelly keeps it in his feet to protect it and now finds space. Fowler returns the favor. Devante into the middle of the ice. High slot, high shot, and Enroth made the save.
Yeah, no coincidence. Again, looking top of the net against Jonas Enroth.
The Swedish netminder gave up 6 to the Ducks on 29 shots in that Saturday night 6-3 victory in Buffalo for the Ducks. Again, high slot and a swing and a miss for Solani. Linder was closing on him, but Teemu with a rare swing and a miss there. He's knocked down in the corner. As the puck tracked down by Penner, weaves away from a pair of defenders and finds an open Spiza. He'll take it off the boards. In front, Getzlaf, too hot to handle in his skates. Behind the net, Solani gives chase, and now Allen retreats from the near side point.
You know, it is incredible, John, watching Dustin Penner play here. He is just so much quicker. I mean,
it's visible.
He has a lot more energy at the end of shifts. His conditioning level is starting to get where Bruce Boudreau wants it to be. It's not all the way there yet, Boudreau told us. He's getting closer.
Cogliano, Raquel, and Winnick over the boards for the Ducks as the Sabres bring it out of their own zone. Puck chipped inadvertently into the Anaheim bench by Stafford as it went off that corner glass. And that'll bring a stoppage of play.
Devontae Smith-Pelly had a pretty good chance moments ago. Here's the high shot. And Enroth actually leaves a pretty fat rebound sitting around the front of his goal crease. Very impressed with Devontae since he has been recalled.
When you talk about opportunities, Brian, and I just look back. I remember the injury to Solani. He leaves the road trip, and the decision made by Bruce Boudreau was to put Devontae Smith-Pelly up in that spot on the second line. Maybe not what a lot of people thought would happen, and he found chemistry with Matthew Perreault, and now he finds himself still playing there even after Solani returns.
He's still a very young player, obviously. He just turned 21 in June, so he's got a very bright future, and he's a unique player. I mean, we talk about Corey Perry being a unique player because of the length of his arms and how he uses that reach so effectively. Smith-Pelly's a unique player. He's built like a little fire plug, and boy, can he hit.
Lindholm tracks one down at center and whips it right back in. Now, you talk about the visible difference that we can see in the speed from Dustin Penner. You think back a couple of seasons ago when Smith-Pelly first came on the scene, he appears to be a quicker hockey player than me now as well.
He put in the time. I mean, he really worked during the offseason.
Yeah, it was a couple of brief opportunities last season, nothing like his rookie year. This year, making a bid to stick.
Well, I think he learned a very valuable lesson last year when he wasn't part of this team. That you know, this is a game. It's so competitive, and there is so much peer pressure coming. And there's the thundering herd, I used to call them, the kids that have just been drafted coming out of the American Hockey League in juniors, and their lifelong dream is to take your job away and get into the National Hockey League. So if you give them an inch, and they're going to take it away from you.
It's the reality of it as a player, isn't it? I mean, fans watch kids come up for their team. They want to see talent come up, but as a player, that has to be your mentality, doesn't it?
Well, for the majority. I mean, unless you're one of the star or superstar players, the majority of players are not.
But even that has a shelf life.
They do. That's true.
Stafford behind the net, hits the brakes now, brings it to the near side centers, but the only man there was Lucas Spiza. Perry was there as well. Spiza knocked to his knees as he carries to center. Zadorov back defensively, gets it back, and now skates with it through center ice. Fires, and Anderson swallows it up. Just over 7 into the third period. The Ducks on top. Well, this is our favorite time of the game. We promised, we wouldn't skip Miller time. Brought to you by Miller Lite, and it came early in the game. And it was the captain, Ryan Getzlaf. What a first period he had.
It looked pretty darn easy for Ryan Getzlaf. First one was a power play goal. Second goal, he jumped. And a bouncing puck. Third one, he just outweighted the goaltender, Ryan Miller.
Hard to believe with everything he's accomplished, Brian. Now in his 9th season in the NHL, his first career hat trick. I mean, we asked around, and Brian Hagan, our stat guru, do the research and double check it, because it seems like Getzlaf has had a lot of big nights, but never with a hat trick at the NHL level.
Still considers himself a playmaker, more than a scorer. And every coach Ryan Getzlaf has ever had at any stage of his hockey career has encouraged him to shoot the puck more.
Now, with the 3 goals tonight, as I mentioned earlier, very encouraging for Ducks fans who often cry for that very result. Now 10 goals on the season for Getzlaf. We're not even 20 games in. His career high is 25. Stafford converged upon as he gets to the slot in the Anaheim zone. And Raquel reverses it away from the pressure of Marcus Foligno. Foligno flushes Beauchemin. And a strike up the wing for Solani. Into the Buffalo zone, tries to make a pass, and it ended up in the goal crease, swatted away by the Sabre defense. Vatanen with a strike to Solani. Loose at the side of the goal. Enroth didn't know where it was, and it stays out. Smith-Pelly looked like he had a gaping goal mouth.
That is Devontae Smith-Pelly's 5th grade A scoring chance of the night. He can't buy one right now. But, boy, great play by Vatanen to get it down low. Tamu throws it into the goaltender. That puck just bounces up into the air. And it's a swing and a miss for Devontae Smith-Pelly.
Boy, how many great chances has Solani had?
He actually got a shaft on it. That's a great look from our low-angle camera guys. They actually batted it out of midair with the shaft of his stick and knocked it off of the short side post.
4th shot on goal of the night for Solani as well, and he's had some great chances. He was robbed a couple times by Ryan Miller when he was in the game. Anderson steers this one to the corner. His 21st save of the hockey game. As 11:25 remains third period at Honda Center. 6-2 Ducks, a thus far scoreless third period. The aforementioned Ryan Miller spelled for Jonas Enroth. Here's Solani again and reaching. Couldn't get a stick on it as he had Enroth down and out of position. Perreault sets him up again, and Enroth hangs on.
Tamu's arms are getting tired here. He's
going to have to ice his shoulders.
If he doesn't get a goal tonight, it won't be for lack of trying, because a little poke on that cross-ice pass forced Enroth to make a diving save. The nifty little feed from Matthew Perreault. Good stop by the Buffalo netminder.
Bonino to take the draw against McCormick in the circle to the left of Jonas Enroth. Enroth has seen 6 shots since he came in. Kept it at 6-2. Palmieri on the forechecking pressure. Myers sends it across. Poked into the Anaheim zone by McCormick. Cody McCormick battling with Brian Allen. Down goes Spiza as he joins the fray in the corner.
Yeah, that was Trop again, so...
A little payback there.
Yeah, those two guys have been going at it a bit. Corey Trop is a hard-working guy. We talked about him 6 days ago. A little conversation coming over with Spiza and Trop. Trop had that ACL surgery a year ago. And then when he broke his jaw during the beginning of this season, he said it was a blessing in disguise because it gave his knee a little bit more opportunity to get stronger. But he's always been known as an honest player, a very aggressive forechecker. And, he kept the shoulder down on Lucas Spiza as he finished that check.
Native of Grosse Pointe, Michigan. 6 games all year last year, all at the American League level after he had somewhat found a spot for himself on the Buffalo roster the previous season. Getzlaf battles the puck out up the boards, and Perry trying to get to it. Penner does, and Enroth will come out and use the glass to clear.
Dusty Penner was almost able to muscle that puck over to Corey Perry.
Pezic drives it ahead, tipped at the line, and Getzlaf comes up with it. He'll find space up left wing. Puts his head down, has Penner with it, gives it to him. Penner finds Perry, his shot wide. Penner gets it back on net, and Enroth got to the post.
They are so dangerous.
They're putting on a clinic.
They are. I mean, there's so much weaving going in, changing of lanes on the attack from that trio. And clearly, defensively, the Sabres a little bit confused. The Ducks come close again. Good play by Getzlaf. Watch Penner spots Corey Perry, and then the shot did not miss by much. It was Lindholm who actually got to that rebound and tested Enroth.
Very philanthropic line that time. It looked like, no, here, you score. No, I'll give it to you. You score. Perry's got a couple of assists on the night. Penner with a goal, and of course, we just chronicled the hat trick a moment ago for Ryan Getzlaf. So Zadorov sneaks between the boards and Beauchemin, but can't corral the puck, and Lindholm gives it back to his defense partner.
You know, you see rushes up ice like that from Zadorov, and it's a peek into the future. I mean, he obviously has got big-time skill.
He skates well with the puck. He's made some moves in the neutral zone as well.
I get back to what the Sabres have done here, and you wonder what would Zadorov be like if he had a veteran like a Brian Allen or someone like that to play with. How much more effective would he be?
Rickard Rakell won't let anyone else have the puck. He puts it into the goal crease. Cogliano can't convert. He had that thing on a string below the goal line. Gergenson's the other way, and his shot is blocked. A big rebound to McBain, and he rattles the high glass.
Yeah, Vatanen no stick. Dropped the stick in the neutral zone, so he's got to get one from one of his forwards here.
He hasn't yet, as Flynn recovers the puck for Myers and wires it just wide. And the pressure continues. Now Vatanen has a stick. I think Smith-Pelly gave him his. He went to the bench and got another. And to the line, Linder keeps it in. Larson converged upon down low. Fowler tries to move it through, and Vatanen plays the body, and Smith-Pelly comes up with the puck. Up left wing, he turns on the Jets into the Buffalo zone. Goes deep, hits the brakes. Myers stays with him. Knocks it loose, but puck support comes from Solani. Brian Allen steps in and gets a piece of it. McCormick jumps around it. Has Trop with it. Takes the shot. The glove save. Anderson made it look easy. Still 6-2 Anaheim.
For goaltender, Ryan Miller is going to go to bed tonight, and he's going to have nightmares. And all he's going to see is a onslaught from Ryan Getzlaf, Corey Perry, and Dustin Penner, because I'll tell you what, for the first half of this game, it seemed like every single shift they had one or two glorious scoring opportunities. They cashed in a whole bunch of them.
Right off the face-off, making a bid for a hat trick of his own. Mikhail Grigorenko.
It's worth one more look, I think, the performance of Penner, Getzlaf, and Perry tonight. 4 goals for that line. They have just been sensational.
Well, regardless of the score, you're trying to find a positive spin if you're the Buffalo Sabres. I got to think the play of Grigorenko tonight is something that you hope the young man can build on. As I said, he had 1 NHL goal in 38 games coming into tonight. He's got 2, and he just had a chance for another a moment ago off the face-off. Confidence can go so far, especially when you're in the early stages of your NHL experience. Certainly the Sabres hope that's the case as Enroth fights off a Perreault bid, and then he was dumped by Zadorov. Grigorenko feeds it to the front of the net, and Anderson lays the stick blade down to tip it away. Pysyk was driving. Solani gets it from Lindholm. Now loses the handle and is forced to reverse it around. Sabres changing, so time and space for Boschma. Feathers it ahead, and Emerson Edom lined up through neutral ice by Steve Ott. And Ott will hitch it.
Yeah, that's a good angle that Steve Ott got that time.
Ott moves it into the middle. Foligno gloves it down, gives it back, and Ott's one-timer misses the mark.
You know, Ott is another one of those Buffalo players that people wonder about if they might consider moving him as well, but are they going to have any veteran players left at the end of the year?
Drew Stafford handles the puck there, has 1 more year after this season left on his deal. 3-time 20-goal scorer, another guy that would definitely generate interest if he was made available. Gives you some size on the wing and some goal scoring ability. 3-14-1 coming into tonight, the Sabres. This is their 10th road game of the year. These two teams will not see one another in the regular season after tonight. Penner intercepts and reverses it away from Larson. And Allen finds Getzlaf. He finds a lot of room through the middle of the ice. Now drops it back to Perry. Handcuffed him a little bit, and Larson angles it out. Spiza does a good job to keep him at bay and block him from the puck. Ducks want to change.
Yeah, they're just working on the clock now and making sure that they get pucks in deep, force the Sabres to go 200 feet, try and get anything on goal. The Ducks looking very comfortable here as they protect the series.
5 minutes away from making it 7-0 here at home to start the home portion of the season, and this is offside as the puck comes in on Jonas Enroth. Just a shade under 5 to go. The Ducks in control.
Now, Bruce Boudreau does not seem thrilled with the score, but he's intently watching the final 5 minutes of this game, and he's been playing a lot of Rickard Rakell here in the second half of this third period, and so he's going to get a real good look at what this youngster brings to the table in the middle of the ice. I got to believe he's very impressed because he sure knows what to do when the other team has the puck, John. He always seems to be in the right spot.
He came into tonight +1. In his first 2 games this season, he's added an assist tonight. And he uses his body to protect the puck there, allowing Lindholm to move it out. Rakell off his stick into the Buffalo zone. He was off to a real nice start at the American League Norfolk. He had 4 goals in 11 games. 3 of them had come on the power play. So he was playing in all situations down there, much as he is now here down the stretch. Winnick with a high shot, blockered away by Enroth.
Yeah, a much different role for him in Norfolk. Norfolk does not have a lot of what you would call veteran American Hockey League goal scorers in their lineup. That creates opportunities for a lot of the younger Ducks who are down there.
Fowler bumped by Flynn as he goes back to get it in the Anaheim zone. McBain able to salvage it at the point and keep it in. Solani's pass squirts to the middle. Girgensons can't get his shot on net. Vatanen touches it ahead, and Solani off to the races. 3 abreast across the line of the Ducks. And his backhand pass is behind Perreault. He recovers it, but can't work it deeper into the zone. McBain drops it off, and then the return feed maybe wasn't too fancy from Brian Flynn, who was in a good shooting spot but chose not to. Solani will get to this loose puck deep in the Buffalo zone, but he's on his own. Ducks change behind him, and he wins the puck back for Brian Allen. His wrist shot just got through and just wide. I don't know if Enroth saw it maybe as much as he heard it after it hit the end boards. Now he denies Bonino on a one-timer.
Nothing fancy here from the Ducks, just kind of blast away.
Bonino knocked down as he tried to feed it back to the line by McCormick. Play goes on, and Anaheim feeds it right back in again.
McCormick is a pretty feisty player for Buffalo. He's shown a lot of heart in a game like this, John. He continues to finish his checks, and I think that will please Ron Ralston.
9th-year man out of London, Ontario. Split the year last year between Rochester and the big club. He's already missed 4 games this year with a foot injury. It's a presence, not only a veteran presence, but the way he played, as you were talking about, Brian, the sort of thing that some of the younger players do need to see, because it is going to be a long year in Buffalo. It's already been a long year in Buffalo, but how you respond to those things are often what your coaching staff is looking for. Now Palmieri gets it from Getzlaf, gives it back to him. He's caught from behind as Foligno hustling on the back check. Ott sweeps it deep into the Anaheim zone, and we wind the clock to under 2 minutes to go now in the third period.
And we're seeing a lot of Sammy Vatanen as well, so Boudreau has gone deep into his bench here, giving the young players a chance.
Getzlaf open, trying to serve it up for Penner, and just getting a piece of his stick on it was Telinder. Fowler now hinges it back for Vatanen. And again, the captain back to receive the pass. Through the middle of the ice finds Penner. Justin Penner, I don't think thought he had as much time and space. He was expecting to be hit when that puck came to him at the blue line, as now Fowler's shot is deflected out of play. Well, don't miss Roger Lodge as he hosts the Sports Lodge weekday afternoons from 4 to 7 on AM 830, the radio home of the Anaheim Ducks. For details, go to their website, am830.net.
I was thinking about Dustin Penner. It's a big year for him. He signed a 1-year deal with the Ducks during the offseason for a lot less money than he's been making for the last years. And I think he comes in, he's got a lot to prove this season. That he can get back to being considered a top 6 forward.
12 points in 11 games and a staggering plus 18, including tonight's action. Penner has 8 points in his last 5 games. That's a scoring streak. Here's Cogliano from Raquel. Winnick coming late and has his stick hooked away from behind by Flynn as the clock now under a minute to go. Sabres changing. And the drop pass in the neutral zone. Probably fortunate it didn't end up being a too many men on the ice penalty. Not that it matters much in a 6-2 game with 40 seconds to go. Solani trying to chip it around McBain. Ristolainen flushed out by the 43-year-old. And he'll go coast to coast with it, only to have his pocket picked at the blue line. Smith-Pelech tries to chip it ahead, and Solani can't run it down. Delayed offside on the Ducks as Perreault pursues the puck. He realizes now and retreats back.
Well, the Ducks do a great job here of protecting a comfortable lead in the third period. Not much for Frederik Andersen to do. The Sabres really could not mount any kind of an attack. And they just keep rolling.
And Andersen is going to improve to 5-0 in this his rookie NHL campaign. The Ducks 7-0-1 in their last 8. They remain atop the National Hockey League, 14-3-1 and perfect at Honda Center as Andersen gets the win tonight.
Well, he had a lot of support. This one was put to bed, I thought, in the opening period. The Getzlaf line just said, we're going to take charge of this one, and no one's going to stop us. The Sabres, they just couldn't control the Ducks' very talented top line down low. They were too big and too powerful. And, you know, Ryan Miller, there was not much he could have done about this. The final shot count, 46 shots on goal for Anaheim to 27 for the Buffalo Sabres. So a Bruce Boudreau coach team just continues to blast away and continues to score bunches of goals.
That's the 6th time this season the Sabres have given up 40 shots or more in a game. The Ducks win 6-2. Let's listen to tonight's 3-star selection.
And now, here are tonight's 3 stars of the game as voted by the broadcast media and brought to you by Honda. Tonight's 3rd star of the game with 2 assists from the Ducks, number 10, Corey Perry. Tonight's 2nd star of the game with a 4-point game, 1 goal, 3 assists from the Ducks, number 17, Dustin Penner. And tonight's 1st star of the game with an assist and his 1st career hat trick from the Ducks, the captain, number 15, Ryan Getzlaf.
I'll sit down.
Okay. All right, Ryan, 7 consecutive wins here at home. What makes your line so tough to defend right now?
Well, we play well with the puck and without the puck, and that's our main goal all the time, is to have it as much as we can, and we do a good job with it down low, hanging on to it.
The young Freddie Andersen picks up his 5th straight win. Talk to me about him and how impressed you are with him.
Oh, he's been playing great. I mean, it's incredible the way he handles the puck and eats everything and calms the whole game down.
7 consecutive wins, as I mentioned, for the home team. Big winners over the Sabres tonight, 6-2. Ducks Live coming up next.